Everybody, welcome to HitPoint. Baku, how are you doing today, kind sir?
Oh man, I am just so energized. If anyone has been following me on Twitter, links down below. Yeah, I just took a short vacation that I really need, but also unfortunately because of that, we had to push the show over to Monday. So first, my apologies, and also for being a little late today. That's also my fault. So hope you guys okay with just getting the news. It's a little later than usual, but hey,
first
we've
of all,
got yes.
First of all,
yes.
How dare you?
How dare I take a vacation?
How dare you take a vacation? No. Actually, how dare you ask me first? Like legitimately, like you asked me about taking a vacation. I'm like, dude, don't. You're not. Just take a vacation. Take care of yourself. You got to in these days. You know, in this day and age, you got to take care of yourself. And yeah, I'm glad that you went to. Well, did you tell people where you went?
I didn't say where I went because I'm meeting with a couple of streamers and didn't feel like doxing them, but I headed up north, let's just say, and I met up with a couple of streamers, friends, and it was really fun. I mean, towards the trip, I started taking photos that people can't figure out, but by then I was done hanging out with them, so it kind of did matter. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. So everybody, welcome to HitPoint. This is our JRPG and niche news podcast where we talk about basically anything that interests us, whether that be RPGs, figures, anime. And today, well, we've got some news that we're going to talk about that leans quite far into the anime side of things. I'll go ahead and just say that today's top headline, the leading headline, is that Funimation got Crunchyrolled. I mean, the jokes just kind of write themselves. I do have very mixed feelings on the subject, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But for the time being, the puns are just such low-hanging fruit that it's hard not to make these terrible, not very funny jokes at all. So, yeah. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at some viewer feedback. Because we got a new 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. HitPoint,
5-star,
a 5-star rated show on Apple Podcasts, and
Apple Podcasts.
That's right. We got the hype man, Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast.
So we got one from Azure Reviews who says, excellent show. The hosts are personable and fun to listen to. I love the upbeat personalities and can't wait to hear how the show grows. Keep up the great work. And thank you so much. So anybody out there who's listening, if you enjoy our show on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, leave us a review and help us get the word out to help bring in more listeners. I very much appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
I think I heard that reviews or ratings are a thing now on Spotify podcasts. Is that right? I don't know.
I believe so.
I've heard through the grapevine that is a thing that exists. I know nothing about it. I'll take their word for it. They seem like an upstanding person.
Let's do it. Check out all of our available links, I think, down below also.
Yeah, in the description we have links to where we can be found on, God, like 10 different platforms or more at this point.
Platforms.
HitPoint worldwide.
Now available in one language.
Yep, exactly. Now streaming in one language. Baku, when are you going to start translating us into Mandarin?
Oh man. Well, I don't speak
Mandarin. You speak Cantonese, right?
I speak Cantonese. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. One of these days, I'm those old what is it called, martial arts old kung fu movies where like the person just talks on. It's gonna be like that, but in reverse.
I love it.
We also got a YouTube comment that we'd like to share from Nicolas. Says, the quality of Yakuza Like a Dragon really impressed me. I strongly recommend this JRPG. The map is great. The characters are funny and touching. The gameplay is addictive, like Persona 5. The storytelling is really great. And I had never played any other Yakuza game before. So perfect for newcomers who likes JRPGs. Awesome, man. Hey, I appreciate enthusiasm, and like you, I'm really enjoying that game right now. I play through the other Yakuza games, and I've got to say, it takes a little bit to get used to from just like this action oriented game to turn based. It feels just a little slower. But once I got my head game into it, that it's just super enjoyable. In fact, to some extent, it is definitely an improvement to previous games, and I love the previous games. So, if any of you guys have not had a chance to touch the Yakuza series, like Derek here, definitely give it a shot. And also, if you have tried it and you're a fan, tweet at Derek.
Yeah.
Every show, I'm gonna ask people to tweet at you.
All right. So, yeah, make sure you guys also leave reviews or comments. There's a good chance that you'll be featured here on HitPoint in the beginning here. Also, we have something new here that I just kind of put together this morning. And that is that if anybody would like to call in and leave a voicemail and be heard on the show, feel free to do so. You can reach our voicemail box at 785-337-3805. That is 785-337-3805. And we'll if it's a good voicemail, we'll play it on the air. If it sucks, we won't.
Yes. and Derek will review them. So if you want to leave sexy messages, well, first of all, I won't be getting them, but Derek will.
Oh my gosh, how dare you bring that up? Oh, and furthermore, super chats will also be answered and responded to at the end of the show. So if you leave a super chat or if you have any burning questions, feel free to throw out a super chat and we will respond to those at the end.
Yes, absolutely. Anything that eats at you.
Yes. Anything tearing you up inside.
Yes.
Like if you want to know if Baku wears boxers or briefs, for instance, you could ask.
Good question. Yes, you can definitely ask that.
Burning question.
Burning questions. My burning question is, who cares to know about that? That's my burning question.
It's a great burning question.
Man, okay. You ready to talk some news, sir?
Yeah, let's talk about this, man.
Okay, so let's start off with something a little lighthearted and ridiculous. So Triangle Strategy, first of all, it's still a funny name. Can't get used to this. And My Nintendo, so that's the the reward service for the Nintendo. They're offering an alternate box art cover. And when I first heard that news, I'm just like, oh, it's like Square Enix. Square Enix also has this kind of like loyalty point thing where, once you spend the points, they'll send you like a steel case for certain games. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And the more I read into it, the more ridiculous it gets. First, they won't. It's not a steel case. First of all, okay, it's not even a case. What it is, it's the art cover.
Okay,
PDF.
So they send you a cover of that you slip in between your Switch case, right? Because you got
no. They send you a PDF that you can print yourself.
So I got thoughts on this.
Yes, please. Thoughts, please.
Okay. First one, that's dumb. Second one is why it's dumb. Here's the thing. And I know that a lot of people out there who have probably collected retro and have made their own aftermarket cases, like I have, using like universal game cases and stuff. So like if you had like a Super Nintendo game, but you didn't have an official box to put it in, you put in this clamshell, you print out your thing. So here's something that you used to be able to do sometimes is you take it into like a FedEx, Kinko's or whatever. That's still a thing, right? Or like a print shop, basically. You would take it in there. I've been at this a while, guys, and you could get it printed off in pretty good quality. But the thing is, if it was like something that looked commercially made, the people behind the counter would tell you no. They would tell you, no, we will not print this because that is copyright infringement. So You take something like this to get it like professionally printed somewhere so that it'll actually look good inside of your Nintendo Switch case. They're going to tell you a no. Okay. Okay. That's what's going to happen. So even though Nintendo will give you this, you're mostly going to be restricted to either like sneakily trying to like sneak around and maybe getting kicked out of a print shop, or maybe you're going to have to print it out on your own home printer, which is something that I've been able to do because I've got like a decent printer and I've invested the time and effort into doing this. So like, because I think that they look nicer with covers and stuff, right? But if you aren't into collecting retro and you're just like, hey, that's a pretty cool cover, I want it, Nintendo will not print it out to you. They will not send it to you like first class mail. They won't do anything for you. They're just like, here's the file. You figure it out.
Yeah, basically.
And then you have to cut it out because
yeah.
And good luck doing that with a pair of scissors, because your hand's going to be janky and like tremory and stuff. Because unless you have like a nice guillotine cutter like I do for my own like arts and crafts, then you're just going to end up with this thing that looks really janky. You're going to print it out on your own printer, cut it all crooked, and then it's going to look terrible. And Nintendo is like, yeah, that's fine. That's how we want to. So that's how we want to thank the people who really enjoy our show. I mean, at least we got like a collector's edition on the way, right?
What collector?
I mean,
sorry. Oh, yes, the tactician edition. Oh, you're talking to people. Yes. You're talking to the European viewers.
Oh, that's in Europe.
Yes. Only.
Oh.
Yes. And you know what's a kick in the face is that it's actually a really nice collector edition. Really, it's got these carts that it comes with, special design carts and dice, and it looks beautiful, but only available in Europe. Sorry, North America, eat your hearts out.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of back in the day when you would go onto like Nintendo's website or maybe Namco Bandai's website, and like go to the website specifically for a game that you were really interested in, and you could download or pay to download like a desktop wallpaper, and it'd come in like a resolution of like 1024 by 768. It was awful.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, so you remember that. I remember that. It's like that. But worse, because it's less practical, because you still have to print it out and go through all the steps of cutting it out and printing it out and sticking it in and hoping it's not crooked and hoping that your print quality is good enough that it doesn't look washed out and bad, because it will. Unless you go and get yourself some glossy paper, some glossy photo paper. Yep, it's just going to look bad.
Which Nintendo recommends. In fact, they recommended we recommend using gloss text type papers. That's what they're saying. That's what you need. That's the special paper you need. And all this PDF is only going to cost you in a low amounts of 30 platinum points.
30 platinum points.
Platinum points. 30,
how do you get platinum points?
I have no idea, and I don't care.
I think I've got a bunch of Nintendo points. I don't remember how I got them. I used to be on part of like Club Nintendo. I think that was the thing you used to be able to do. Was like you would get these codes in with your Nintendo games, and you could redeem them online. And one of my favorite things to do back in the day was to go and collect those codes, like from thrift shops. Like I would go and get like the Wii games and the 3DS games, and I'd find the codes that nobody redeemed. I'd buy the games, bring them home, and I get just stacks of this like Nintendo currency. And that's how I got some really nice. I got some cool posters actually. Some cool.
Interesting.
What was it? The Nintendo 3DS Zelda game, Link Between Worlds.
Oh, interesting.
I got 3 Link Between Worlds posters.
Nice.
So it was actually pretty cool. I got some pretty cool stuff out of it. But yeah.
Well, now you get to print your own posters.
I think right now you get them by buying Nintendo games online. If I'm not mistaken. Somebody
like
says
that.
Somebody in the chat here says you get gold points from buying games. Platinum are from Nintendo missions.
Nintendo missions a new thing, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a new thing that they were taught. They were taught. See, I didn't read into it because I just didn't care too much about loyalty programs until it matters, and this does not constitute as something that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get some of them, if I'm not mistaken, just by like linking your account and like verifying your email address and stuff like that.
Something like that.
And then like just engaging with their website from time to time. So it's not bad for like a free thing, but I would honestly rather pay. I would pay to have like a professional sheet of paper sent to me via, post office or something.
Yeah, I think the last kick in the shin on over all this is just the fact that the case cover actually looks better than the official one that comes with the game. So I'm just like, man, you're just finding all kinds of ways to hurt us here. Well done, Nintendo. Well done,
man.
I like your flair. Yeah. Well, I'd say we started off with something, something fun.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we talk about some new releases coming?
Yeah, we got a upcoming release here. What's this? Ender Lilies? What is this?
Yes. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of like new release, but I'll talk about 2 physical releases that I think is pretty interesting, and 1 actual new release. So the Ender Lilies, this is a digital only, currently at least a digital only the platformer sort of Metrovania game that I've actually played and really liked the gameplay. So I highly recommend it. It's from it's from this little known studio in Japan. In fact, I think this is their first game ever. But the quality of the game is phenomenal. So I looked into it, and it turns out that this game is made by a bunch of industry veterans. We talked about this, right? Like where we have these industry veterans that start these startups. So even though they're startup, small startups or small indie companies, like they're able to make these incredible game because of just their combined history in the experience in the field. So this is one of such game. It plays super fluid, and I do highly recommend this if you're a big fan of Metrovania game. Ender Lilies, it's an amazing game. There will be a limited physical release thanks to limited run games starting tomorrow. There will be a PS4 and the Switch version in both regular and limited edition. We'll be adding the links down in the description so you guys can check it out after the podcast. Okay. So that's one, and I actually don't have a trailer for it, but I do have a trailer for the next game that's getting a physical copy because only because I think Derek will really enjoy this. So this game is called Omori. Omori is a much acclaimed psychological RPG. It is getting a physical release, and this time is for June 17th. The game will be available in PS4 and the Switch through the OmoCat site and the Fan Gamer site, also link down below in the description after the podcast. So do you want to take a look at the trailer? Because I think you will really enjoy this game.
Yeah, let's give this a go here if I can do this here. Okay. Kind of cute. I know better than to trust that. Nice 4:3 aspect ratio presentation we got there. looks like it's pretty grid based.
It surprised you to tell you that this is heavily inspired by Mothers.
I would not be surprised. I feel like there's a lot of games out there inspired by Mother. There are more Mother inspired games than there are Mother games.
Yeah, I think the art and the music is just phenomenal. The themes really gets at people. Like some of the reviews that I've been seeing are just glowing reviews.
Oh wow,
but it's kind of trigger warning for some though.
Looks like a lot of different kinds of worlds. Almost reminds me a little bit of like in Kingdom Hearts, where you go to visit Halloween Town.
Kind of like that.
But also, I mean, like I saw a little bit of like
logical. So.
Also, I feel like I saw a little bit of like Moonside in there as well from Earthbound. Okay, I see a little bit of like Mother 1 here.
Definitely some trigger warning for folks. But just read the trigger warning carefully if you do decide to play the game. That's all I've really got to say for folks. But it's got this super rich story, and I think Derek will like it. So if you want to see Derek play the game, tweet at him.
Quit trying to make people tweet at me. It's not going to happen. Nobody wants to do it. So far, we're like 6 episodes in of Baku telling people to tweet at me to shame me into doing things. Not a single tweet so far.
Not a single tweet?
I've not been shamed once.
What are y'all doing? What is happening?
That's all right. Nobody wants to shame me, I guess.
You got a great target for shaming, and you guys are not doing your job. Pull your weight, people.
I mean, what else is Twitter there for if not shaming public figures?
How else are we gonna get them to play Yakuza, NieR Automata, and Omori? What's going on? What's going on? Use your power.
So I'm getting Omori is coming from Fangamer, right? They're the ones doing this limited. This run, right?
Yeah.
Omocat?
So Omocat's the developer, I believe. But the
Fangamer is the source of the article that we are citing.
No, so Fangamer and Omocat are 2 separate locations that you can get this physical copy.
Oh, okay. But yes. Omocat is making it, but Fangamer will also be selling it?
I believe so. I believe so.
I'm trying to get like I saw Fangamer. I'm like, I like Fangamer. They're Fangamer is good people. So I was just trying to make sure I understood that relation between the two there.
Yeah. So Omocat mixed the game, and they'll have the game available at their own site, but also at the Fangamer site.
Awesome.
All right. So I did promise you that there will be a new game. This time it is developed and published by Nipponichi Software of the Sky fame. This is a storybook-esque turn-based RPG where you play as a little girl named Yu. That's Y-U-U. And she is the daughter of the late great hero who's also raised by the former Demon King. How does that work? So in addition to keeping a promise with the hero, the Demon King seems to want to raise Yu up as the next great hero so that she may one day defeat the Demon King herself.
Interesting.
Yes. So I've got
is the Demon King some sort of like self-loathing sort of demon, I guess? Or don't tell me too much, because who knows, right?
Let's take a look at the trailer, which will tell you something about it. And we can talk a little bit about this, because I think this game looks amazing.
All right, let's pull this up here if I can. Ah, it's adorable. I don't trust it. I'm
So
not.
yeah, that's what the battle looks like. And you got some. It looks like, of course, side quests. Is it a JRPG if there's no side quests?
So is this like a hero training sim? Is that what I'm getting from this? Where
I believe so. I believe so.
Because it looks like one of those kinds of games where you don't control her directly, but maybe you like.
You do absolutely control her directly.
You do.
Yes, you do.
Okay, because I didn't see any of that like interface of like a menu or anything.
Yeah. So that's the Demon King right there.
Okay. Uh-huh. A story of how one day you will defeat me.
Little self-loathing, I'm sure. So here's how the story goes. The Dragon King or the Demon King once ruled the land where the great hero came to defeat it just to cut off one of the horn instead of killing it. And the horn happened to be the source of his power. And as the dragon recovers, it now lives in a peaceful world where it doesn't get to just dominate the land. And slowly but surely, as it recovers, it befriends the hero. And before you know it, they're kind of buddies. And the Demon King kind of turned a new leaf. One day, the great hero suffered a mortal injury, and in his dying breath, asked the Demon King to raise his, baby daughter. And the Demon King agreed, choosing to raise her as a upstanding person that wouldn't do evil things as a way to sort of redeem itself. But I think what ends up happening is Demon King would tell the young girl all the heroic tales of her late father, and so as she grows up, she wants to be just like the great hero. And so I think the Demon King is like, you know what, this is the right path. So once you do become that hero, you will be able to finally end my life. So that's how that story goes. Seems very interesting. The art style looks great. And yeah, so I'm gonna give this a shot because it looks like it's gonna be a relatively short game, as opposed to a bunch of other RPGs out there. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty interesting. The combat looks kind of neat. I'm just really until I see a menu where you actually choose like to attack or defend or what to use, like the fight, defend, item, or runaway, selection. Until I see that, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, is this one of those things where it's like you just are like telling them to like go out and fight this thing, or eat this to power up, or like is this like a modern day Tamagotchi basically?
Oh geez.
Like because I've seen some games that are kind of like that and they look like RPGs, but the mechanic really just is a big turnoff for me. So I don't know. I don't know if that's what this is or not.
Well, I do have a screenshot for you that you can see from the official site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have it pulled up?
Yes. So you see, this is the battle. Here's
okay.
that you were talking about. Yeah. So fight. And I'm guessing that's skill and that's defend, and maybe like you scroll over, that will be run away. Here's your health, and I presume would be your skill points underneath. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And you get different characters that can join you in the bottom slot too. So okay. You do have party members.
All right. Apprehension has been assuaged. Thank you.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's all I had to do during the trailer, and I would have been like, great. It's just I don't want to play a Tamagotchi. I mean,
no, absolutely not. I would never recommend a Tamagotchi game. Well, I'm not really recommending this game, but I'm just saying that I had pre-ordered the game, and it will come, and I will play it.
Nice.
Actually, I saw a streamer in Japan played maybe like an early version of the game, so I did have like a sneak peek. So I knew that there was an actual like battle system, but I'm like, let me find actual photo, because what if I remembered wrong, right? Like I'm not about to give you the some fake news. This is not what this show is about.
Yeah.
But here it is. That's what the battle menu looks like.
Now, to be fair, because I can already see comments, I can mentally see comments coming in about
Mhm.
my disdain of Tamagotchi, and let me, to be clear, I I would love to get a Tamagotchi and like put it in. I'm actually thinking about putting together in my basement a 90s themed room. Like,
Hmm.
I want to make myself like a Hey Arnold room. You know, did you ever watch that show growing up?
I did not,
Oh
because I
man,
watched
you
anime.
missed out because it was
I
probably
probably
the
did.
best American animation for children from my childhood. But basically, he had this cool room that had like an awesome like hi-fi
Mhm.
system set up and like a fold-out couch, and or when I say fold out, I mean like a couch that like folds away from the wall, and like it's just a really cool room. I want to
Mhm.
make a 90s themed room,
Hmm.
uh, and I feel like a Tamagotchi would probably work really well in that situation. But I'm not going to play a Tamagotchi sim in Switch game format.
I mean, maybe a couple Tamagotchis just to line the tiles. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a one Tamagotchi and then one of the Pokemon ones. What were those called?
They have Pokemon
They
ones? They
had
did?
Pokemon. I mean, they had like Digimon and
Digimon
Gigapet,
ones.
Gigapet also, but there was
Mhm.
definitely a Pokemon one. I'm sure of it.
Well, there was the Pikachu one, but I don't think that was like a Tamagotchi. I think that was like a companion thing for the
Soul
Pokemon
Silver.
Yellow. No,
Oh,
Pokemon
for Pokemon
Yellow.
Yellow. Oh,
Yes,
maybe,
yes, yes, yes. And
maybe.
good luck finding one of those because man, I'm pretty sure those are like ultra rare
Hmm.
for like only the I don't want to say. I'm gonna guess that they're ultra rare just because they came out at a time where people don't necessarily think Pokemon would go distance, and
Oh, I'm guessing
you
if
know
my guess is that it's not ultra rare, but
Mhm.
people are gonna ultra scalp it anyway.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And then you have a bunch of like made in China ones that
Oh yeah, yeah.
deceptively similar, but nothing like the original thing.
All right. Well, anyways, so do you want to move along to this new game announcement here that we have?
Yes, we got some new announcements coming up. So so yeah, so no some new announcements. Let's see here. So let's start us off with a DLC that's coming. Actually, I want to call this more of an expansion than just like some like cosmetic DLC. This
Mm-hmm.
is for Lost Judgment. It's called the Lost Judgment, the Kaito Files. Speaking of Yakuza, so the Judgment series is kind of a spin-off of the Yakuza series. It takes
Okay.
place in the same world. I think you do get some cameo here and there, but it has a completely different protagonist, completely different plot points and different mechanics. Whereas the old Yakuza games, action, and the newest one, like a Dragon, is turn based. Judgment sort of like kept the action pedigree, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's kind of weird. Like the old Yakuza game are all action, then you get this like split
Mm-hmm.
into the new Yakuza, which has Ichiban as the main character's turn based, and then Judgment sort of spin off as like keeping all the action pedigree.
Yeah.
Now, in this game, Lost Judgment, which is the second Judgment game, there's going to be a DLC called the Kaito Files. You will play as Masaharu Kaito. He's sort of like your like best bro in the main game. In
Oh.
the main game, you play someone named Yagami, but
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like your best bro. Well, in this 4 chapter side story, you play as him as the main character, while Yagami is out of town. I believe that is the story. The DLC expected to play for about 10 hours long and is going to be available in March 28th, so this month, on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS. If you have the ultimate version of the game or the $35 season pass, the DLC will be free for you. Or if you don't care for any of those things, you can always just get the DLC by itself for $29.99. They're really pushing you to get that season pass.
Yeah, you can really tell.
They're really pushing you to get that season pass. I think the season pass, you get a couple of side missions and some cosmetic stuff that it's worth the $5. So I'll link some things down below for you all to read about that. I know a lot of Yakuza fan or Judgment fans are super excited to play as Kaito. So there you go. You'll be able to get that towards the end of the month.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and take the lead on this next one because I have a personal stake in this one.
Personal stake?
Yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just lead with a trailer on this one.
Yes, please. Oh, that music. That music.
Oh, yeah.
That music. Oh, God. Falcom. Ugh. Falcom.
Oh, yeah.
I can hear someone cry right now from the... Yeah, someone's crying. Someone's crying right now.
Don't judge me for crying, Baku.
You're spoiling people with music again. What are you doing?
Hang on, I gotta crank it. Okay, I'm not actually gonna crank it.
Yeah. No.
Oh, man. This, by the way, everybody, I mean, I've played this. A lot of people haven't been able to play Trails from Zero yet because it's never come out officially in the United States. You could buy this from DL site and then apply the fan patch from the Geofront when it was still available, but that game is no longer available from the Geofront to download and apply because they've partnered with NISA to use their localization as a basis for this official fan patch, or this official localization, rather. The fan patch has become the official patch. And
yes,
that is incredible news. I love it. I love it. It's coming to PS4, Nintendo's eShop, Switch. Also, it's coming to PC. I absolutely love the direction of NISA. Finally, like, it was about time somebody did something like this for fan translation communities.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
just love it so much. And this was a fantastic game. In addition to everything else that I mentioned, it was a really great game. So if you're interested, I've got a spoiler-free review available on my YouTube channel. You can find it Google YouTube search. It's a lot. It's a big game, and the sequel of this duology is going to be coming out sometime next year. It is worth it. Trust me.
Yeah,
check it out.
Absolutely. So just to add in there, the release date is planned for September 27th. There is a standard and a limited edition available for pre-order right now at the Nisa online store. We can link it down later. Hashtag not sponsored by any of these folks.
Now, I gotta tell you, when I ordered my limited edition, it was already over half gone. So you guys, if you want to get this, if you want to get the special edition, which was like $90 for the special edition that comes with a soundtrack and an art book. And honestly, the soundtrack by itself, I think, is probably worth the extra bit. But yeah, you're going to want to get on that soon. So
yeah,
we'll have links to that below.
It's got like a cloth, what is it called? One of those cloth scrolls.
Oh, it's got a cloth scroll? Yeah. That'll be perfect in my 90s room.
Wait a minute. This game came in the 2000s. You're cheating.
I know, but the scroll wall art, the kind that like you hang with like the on the string that goes like you used to get it from like Aladdin's castle for like 500 tickets or something. That is so quintessentially 90s to me.
Oh boy, I had a couple of those growing up, but yeah,
so
that's absolutely.
I had a Soul Calibur with nunchucks. It was
you did,
yeah. It was so cool.
Yeah, the game, the limited edition is still available at Nisa's store as of before the show when I looked at it, but no promises after the show. So get get to it. Like, do it now. I'm actually, I've been waiting for the official release for so long. So I'm planning to play the third sometime this year, probably July. So it's going to be perfect because then this game will come out in September, and then maybe September, maybe.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
actually more like October. This is like late September.
I am not a guru when it comes to the lore of Trails, and I cannot tell you like the objective best jumping in point, but I can tell you that you might be better served by starting with Trails in the Sky if you're on the fence, because it's very similar gameplay. And it also has some events that continue on. The Trails in the Sky series do bleed into the beginning of Trails from Zero a bit. And to really fully appreciate things, you might need to play it in order to have some scenes make a certain kind of impact on you. And boy, can they be impactful. But this is the start of a new arc within the Trails series. Sort of like how you could jump in at the beginning of Trails of Cold Steel, because that's a new arc that introduces new people from the get-go. Trails from Zero is also sort of a jumping in point where you're starting with a new cast of characters, and some backstory would probably be beneficial. But yeah, I think if you wanted to avoid Sky, because it does have a bit of a slow start, like notoriously so, this would also be a pretty good way to go. Like it wouldn't be any worse of a way to start than Cold Steel, I think.
Absolutely. And for fans of the series, I just want to remind everyone that earlier in the year, Nixia's figure has been greenlit and is in planning stage. So when we do hear more news on that, you bet your bottom dollars we'll be talking about it here in HitPoint. Let us know how excited you are about it. Yeah, actually. Yes.
Actually, her name is pronounced Risha.
Oh my god. Oh, OMG.
I had to do it to save you from the comments after the fact.
OMG.
It's okay, guys.
Are they going to come for me?
It's okay. It's okay, guys. I got him.
You got him. But yes, the figure looks beautiful. And if you missed it, you missed it because we looked at it on the show.
Oh, somebody did ask if I got the PS4 or the Switch version. I got the Switch version because this is a Vita game. Essentially, it was originally released on Vita. It was ported to PC. And I don't know if we're getting something that's like brand new or if it's a port of the Vita or a port of the PC version. But bottom line is, it's not going to be impacted by the performance of a PS4 versus a Nintendo Switch, because it's a mostly 2D game, So because there's no performance hit, it'd be nice to have the ability to take it on the run if I felt like playing it on the go. And also Switch games retain their value, and I'm a collector, so
makes sense. I think I'm gonna go for the PS4 version myself, just to be different.
That's fine.
We'll both play it and see if like we're getting any kind of performances we can compare.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, we've got some fun industry news coming up.
I wouldn't say it's very funny. We got so this is kind of an interesting thing, and honestly, a lot of my knowledge on this subject is secondhand. I don't have primary sources for this one, but I just think it's interesting to talk about because it is officially happening. Here's what's happening. Crunchyroll was purchased by Sony, who also happens to own Funimation. Now, when this happened, it was kind of generally expected that when Crunchyroll got bought out, that that Sony rather would go ahead and just wind down Crunchyroll's operations, because I feel like Funimation has been in the game for a good long while. They've got some name recognition. They localized Dragon Ball and basically they localized Toonami back in the day. So everything from my youth and probably yours, maybe not yours, Baku, but everybody like in the United States, if you're into anime, this was probably like your early, I know you probably had like, I don't know, Gatchaman or whatever, Baku, like growing up, but like but for what introduced me to anime was Dragon Ball Z and Ronin Warriors and Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin, and I'm pretty sure that at least half of those were Funimation, if not more. And yeah, so Funimation has some history. I mean, I guess Dragon Ball didn't start out as Funimation; it started out as Ocean Dub, but that's besides the point. Actually, it starts. There's others who did it first, but eventually it became Funimation, and they're the ones who finished it and continue to produce it. The localization of that content today, but in the old switcheroo, Crunchyroll laid down the reverse Uno card at the last minute, forcing Sony to shut down Funimation instead and roll that into Crunchyroll. Therefore, thereby meaning that Funimation got Crunchy rolled into Crunchyroll. Yeah, that is insanity. Yep. And I kind of understand why though, because I'm just gonna keep talking then, because I feel like here's what it is. I think that Funimation has some brand recognition as far as like the localization process goes and distribution of physical media. Physical media though is kind of dying, especially in the world where streaming is king. And right now, Crunchyroll has the name recognition as far as streaming services go. Funimation, like unless you're really following the anime scene, you're probably mainly only vaguely aware that Funimation has a streaming service, and it's kind of okay in some ways and kind of not in some others. But Crunchyroll is kind of like synonymous with streaming anime, at least legal streaming anime services, right?
Legal streaming anime service.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah, there are definitely a good amount of not so legal loopholes where you can get some of these animes. Well, you know, Derek was just so, you know, on a roll that I couldn't bear to stop him on anything. I'm like, go on.
Oh yeah,
tell me about anime, Derek.
Yes. So I mean, I can keep going here. So here's some interesting things here. I mean, with Sony shutting down Funimation, or not so much shutting them down, but rather rolling them into Crunchyroll, so to speak. That does raise some really interesting questions that I'm very curious about, because there's some things that Funimation does that Crunchyroll don't, including a lot of dubs. You know, Crunchyroll has dabbled in dubbing, but I feel like that's really much more Funimation's area of expertise at this point. You know, they've got entire localization studios, entire dubbing studios. I think that pretty famously, I'm pretty sure that a lot of those are non-union gigs, by the way. I don't quote me on that, but I think that's the rumor that I heard on the, you know, in the rounds, which who knows if that's going to change when it gets rolled into Crunchyroll, who might be unionized. I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that. We'll see how that goes. You know, there's also the question of like, the physical distribution. Is Crunchyroll, I mean, I think that Crunchyroll has dabbled in some official physical releases as well, but again, it's the question of scale. You know, but I guess, are they just absorbing all the things that Funimation is going to be doing? I guess we just need to know. We'll find out more as things go. And Crunchyroll, at least as far as I know, all of their stuff right now, or up to this point, has been available on Verve, which I talked to you about that very briefly the other day, Baku, because it costs the same for Verve as it does for Crunchyroll. The app for Verve on Roku is way worse, but it's cheaper, so I deal with it. Does this mean that now I'll have access to all of the Funimation stuff on Verve as well? I don't know. I hope so.
Well, let me answer a couple of questions for you.
Yes,
just because
I'm just raising questions. Give me the answers, Baku.
And I don't know. I don't have all the answers
All of
because
the answers.
I don't have
it's
all the answers.
it's okay,
but I
Baku.
have some answers.
If you don't have all the answers, just make it up.
That's what shit porn is about. Okay, so I think well, first of all, let's start with the VRV or Viv or Verve.
Yeah, I call it Verve.
Whatever it's actually called. It's just the oddest name. That's actually rolled into Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll sort of this like, because Verve is actually owned by Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So everything is just sort of rolled into one giant service. So
it's actually
all the things that you had,
it's under Elation, isn't it? I think Elation is like the parent of both Crunchyroll and Verve.
It's Sony now.
Yeah. Sony's like, look at me, I'm the parent now.
So my understanding is that everything gets rolled into one thing. Funimation, Wakamin, VRV, Crunchyroll, everything's just one thing now. Just one giant thing called Crunchyroll. Which I kind of welcome it just because, part of me is like, I want more competition, but part of me says I just want to pay one service and just watch all my anime simulcasts. I don't want to have 2, 3, 4 different services. And plus, there is still competition. Like, let's not pretend that Netflix is dead or Hulu is not taking 1 or 2 anime at a time. High Dive's a thing. Like, there's still competition, but this will, for anime fans' sake, the largest collection of anime
by far.
So, it's kind of a must-have if you're a fan of animation, or Japanese animation, that is. And so, for me as a consumer, it's pretty good. Now, I have to pay a little bit more a month, but it's less than what I was paying before, which was Funimation and Crunchyroll. So in that sense, I am saving money. And the only reason I know all about this is because I've been talking to some friends over the weekend about, all this, because I've got a lot of friends who are impacted. So we had some chats, and so that's the only reason I know. And when I was working on a docket, I saw Derek adding this. I'm like, really, Derek? You want to talk about anime? Okay.
Yes,
like,
I do. You don't know. You don't know this, but I am a weeb, so it is. It's okay. I'm allowed to use that word. It's our word.
Are we allowed to use the word? Are we allowed to use the word? Have you been giving a pass? Have you been giving a pass? No, I embrace the word weeb, and I think most of the people now in the scene just embraces the word.
I mean, it's I prefer it over calling myself an otaku. I feel like that's a little bit worse.
Oh, otaku is definitely worse, especially when half the people who use the word don't know what it actually means, in Japan, because it's a Japanese word. Weeb is wholly like internet and, partly American. So, we have a little bit more, sway in what it probably means. But otaku means something different that I don't think people understand.
A little bit more hikikomori built into that word.
Well, let's just say that we are here out in the West are a little bit more casual about the word weeb, and otaku still has a pretty
huge stigma,
negative, more negative stigma. I mean, it's lightened up certainly over the years, but it's still like it's still a little negative. It's still kind of rude. But it also encompasses a lot more things. You can be like a trained otaku. It doesn't mean like you're into anime, into game. It's more like it's more like a nerd,
or
like you're
really
geek. Into a thing. Oh, a geek, yes.
Yeah.
So like it's not the same. It's not what people think it is. And I feel like they keep using the word wrong. But I got you. This is not what this is about.
No, you're good. Hey, we learned the other day. We learned all about Mao the other day. So this is another one of our learning opportunities. So
you can be a military otaku for anyone who does not know. You can be a military otaku where you're just like really into guns and knowing on the vehicles and like doing.
Speaking of which, this episode's brought to you by World of Tanks.
no.
No.
Wait a minute. No,
no.
we're sponsored by Raid, the Shadow Legend. Hold on, Derek, wrong episode.
World of Warships. No. Hashtag not sponsored, actually, but could be sponsored.
Not sponsored. One day, Derek, one day. So as far as the physical distribution and all those things and the dubbing, what my understanding is that none of that is closing down. In fact, they're just rebranding it into Crunchyroll. So there's already a Crunchyroll shop, that you can purchase a lot. So they have like distribution channels. So I don't think it's really hard for them to do this. Now,
it's just swapping out PNG files on the printer, eh? Yeah, I get you.
Record your own DVD. We recommend Blu-ray for best quality. Here's some cases. Get the PDF to print your own, and there you go. You get your own Blu-ray. All right. Good God, that would be terrible. I'm actually kind of happy because I don't like the Funimation video player. Is terrible. The best is Netflix by far. Netflix is just like God.
There are some benefits. Being able to switch between dub and sub on the fly, pretty nice.
Yeah,
that is very nice.
I mean, you can kind of do that on Funimation, but like you have to like click out on a thing and it takes a minute.
Funimation's
I don't know, it's janky.
Their different dubs and subs is a bit of a mess in their player because it's like if you want to switch, you have to switch to a different video file. Basically, they provide you video files. So instead of like switching audio tracks, you have to like switch out, find the episode that says like dub or subbed or whatever in parentheses instead, and then you play, and then you forward to the point where you were. It's like that's a mess. That needs some work.
Yeah. But man, the Crunchyroll player is way better. Way better.
When you're playing the video, yes, it is better. I remember when I had Funimation.
Time is also faster.
For a short while, I was subscribed to Funimation in order to watch Dragon Ball Super, and I did not enjoy it. And there's a very good reason that I think it was during that they ended up getting rolled or not. There was a short partnership between Funimation and Crunchyroll where they were both of it. Like you could watch Funimation on Crunchyroll, and I think it was during the run of Super, which is probably why like maybe at some point Crunchyroll like cut him a deal and said, okay, we want Super on here, what is it going to take? That's my guess. Anyways, so when that happened, switched immediately back to Crunchyroll because I mean it's just a better experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And but before you continue, just remember we can't talk about Dragon Ball on YouTube, otherwise we're gonna get the MCA. Yes, so we gotta cut out all references to Dragon Ball, just bleep it.
I know. You know what? To be totally honest, my upcoming review of Chrono Trigger is coming out on Friday, and it features some of the cutscenes from Chrono Trigger, which are by Toei Animation. And I'm a little worried about that. Just a little bit because of the whole situation with Totally Not Mark. And if anybody's not familiar with that, that's a whole big thing. Go watch his videos on it. Totally Not Mark, super cool video essayist, does all kinds of videos about various anime, especially a lot of stuff by Toei. And there was a big old mess that resulted from Toei fighting dirty, abusing YouTube's terms of service. Finally got resolved, mostly. And well, anyways, definitely check out his videos. And I'm still very concerned about Toei Animation because I don't have millions of subscribers. So
sometimes I think their lawyers need to talk to the PR people and be like, should we sue? Should we DMC it? I don't know, because whatever financial thing you could have gotten out of that from this. I mean, yes, the big streamer, but also like not like crazy huge big streamer in this general realm of things. But man, the PR nightmare that follows will cost you like it's just an uncalculatable amount. I don't know.
They've burned through so much goodwill of their fans.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah. And it's free advertisement for you. You won't take it. Instead, you decide to do this instead. Yeah. Bravo. All right. But the next piece of news is relatively short. How short? Here's how short it's going to be. Star Ocean: The Divine Force PS5 upgrade will be free. Square Enix announced that the upcoming Star Ocean entry will allow users to upgrade their PS4 copies to PS5. End of story. That's pretty much it. Next story.
Sweet.
So actually I think it's an interesting thing that Square Enix is doing now. I don't know what they're trying to do, because maybe they've got to deal with like Sony, because they did that for what is it called, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Babylon Falls, right? Did they say anything about Babylon Falls from PS4 to PS5?
I don't know.
Upgrade?
I don't know.
It's like free upgrade.
Yeah, don't call me on that.
Yeah, but I mean, no additional information is shared, but they just felt like they had to get that out there. So congratulations to all of you who are looking to play Star Ocean at some point in the future. If you get a PS4 copy, you can upgrade it to PS5 free of charge, courtesy of Square Enix.
I do like that. I do like that though, because
appreciate them. Yeah.
Because at this point, like, it's hard to get a hands on a PS5. Do you want? And it makes sense, because you don't want them saying, "Oh, I'll hold out and I'll buy it when I get a PS5," because then they're just going to miss out on a sale, and the person's probably going to buy it secondhand. So it's smart. It lets you play it now on PS4 and then carry forward to PS5.
Well, I appreciate them, because they don't have to do this only because PS5 is backwards compatible with PS4 games. So had you bought the PS4 game, you could play on PS5 anyways. But they are giving you this free upgrade so you can enjoy PS5 at its full capacity playing this game. So cool beans, Square Enix. So that's good news. Here's some bad news from Square Enix, because boy, if there's one thing Square Enix likes to do is to give you some good news and then immediately give you some bad news. Well, this isn't too terrible, to be honest. Forspoken release date is now moved to October. It has an original release day of May. It's now pushed to October of this year. From the Luminous, I believe it's the Luminous Studio, which is a subsidiary of Square Enix. From their original tweet.
I'm sorry, before you continue on, was this the one that had one of the original Tales creators on board with the studio for a short while, and then he left?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. I feel like you're talking about Baba, right? Yeah, my memory's a little hazy on that one,
because it's been a little bit of time. But I feel like Luminous, like that was like the big thing. They created this different subsidiary, or not subsidiary, but this different studio within Square Enix, and they brought on this talent. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna use his talents and stuff. And then he's like, yeah, we're gonna make these games and stuff. And it's under Luminous, I thought. And then like nothing happened for a while. And then it like came out like, he's actually no longer with the studio.
Luminous Productions. I feel like Luminous Production is. Why do I feel like Luminous Production is like Lara Croft and stuff? Is it not? No, is that a different place? Founded by Hajime Tabata, which is one of the Final Fantasy person. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must be confused. Yep.
Yeah. Oh no, you know what? It is Tabata who left Luminous Productions and Square Enix.
Oh, it was Tabata who did. Oh, okay.
Yes. So now they're working on a new so this was Project Athea for a while, but now
that was
it's called Forspoken. Yep,
Athea,
there you go.
Athea. Yeah.
They they were originally working on Final Fantasy 15. And then so on and so forth, but they kept the division, and now they are working on this game. So it is a narrative-driven adventure. It looks really interesting. It's based on the Luminous engine. That's why I'm just like, I'm pretty sure it's based on the Luminous engine. That's why it's the Luminous production. So this game will be pushed back to October. I haven't heard too much about it just because it was kind of on my radar, but not really. But since this news came out, I figure I share this with you all. So in their tweet that says, we've made the decision to move the release date of Forspoken to October 11th. 2022. Our vision for this exciting new IP is to deliver a game, world, and hero that gamers across the globe will want to experience for years to come. Wow, that's a lot of corporate speech. So getting it right is extremely important to us. And to that end, during the next few months, we will focus all of our efforts on polishing the game and can't wait for you to experience Frey's journey this fall, says Luminous Productions via their official tweet. Sorry for all the folks who are looking forward to playing this game. May, you're going to have to wait a couple months longer, but that's not the worst news in the world. I actually would much prefer more studio do this. Like, look, if you're not ready to release the game, just take your time, please. Like, I don't want to play a broken game, and I don't want to do a whole bunch of day one patches and the DLCs to make up for what you couldn't do. Just take your time. Give me a good full experience that can stand on its own, and and we'll be respectful and we'll wait for it, right?
I mean, this sounds like this game's been through the ringer, like of development hell. I just hope that it sounds like they're at least giving it the time it needs. I just hope that it's not suffering too poorly,
Well, Luminous engine, from my understanding, is notorious for being very difficult to work with. Beautiful.
Classic Square.
But boy, it's rough. It's just a terrible engine to develop things in. But gorgeous arts.
When is Square Enix going to finally just use Unreal?
They do for Trials of Mana.
That's true. They did.
Yeah, Trial of Mana. I believe that's Unreal.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. That's what sucks about the Final Fantasy games. Like, it's not what sucks, but they take forever to develop because it's like they try to develop a new engine every single iteration of every game they put out.
But it's got to be pretty.
Yeah, but I mean, just use the same engine twice, develop it, and then use it twice or maybe 3 times. Improve the engine. It's like the opposite of the Bethesda issue where they just keep the Gamebryo engine alive on like life support for 7 generations. Like, I mean, they started using the same engine with like Morrowind, and they're still using a very hacked together variation of it to this day. Like, just stop.
It's just loyalists, man.
Let it die.
They don't want to. Let it die. And yes, Trials Manor is Unreal Engine 4. I was correct. Okay, so there you go. So again, if anyone's interested in this game, you'll just have to wait. Right. Speaking of events coming up in around that time frame, who is excited for Tokyo Game Show this year? Because I am.
I love Tokyo Game Shows.
I love Tokyo Game Shows.
Yep, especially Ninja Warrior.
So it for those who are not in the know, it's Tokyo Game Show is kind of like a PAX, but in Japan, it's like more of an industry event. So it's going to start in September 15th and last until September 18th this year, with the first 2 days being more about business and what have you, and the last 2 days for general admission. So if Japan does open up by then, maybe you can also make it to the last 2 days. Who knows? Never say never, because they are planning to open at some limited capacity starting April. So we'll see what happens in September. Maybe I'll be over there. Now they're saying that this is going to be a hybrid event, as in there will be a physical space, but all the major announcements will be viewable online via their official YouTube channel, and more news to come as we roll around that time. We'll definitely let y'all know where you can see all the exciting presentations, and we'll react to it. Something interesting that is that they've struck a deal with Steam, and Steam will host a special page for the TGS 2022 where the demos of the games that's featured in TGS can be downloaded. So that's really exciting news, especially for folks overseas. So definitely we'll be keeping an eye out on this as more details come.
For sure. Tokyo Game Show is always the one that, like, it's always like every year after E3 sucks, I'm like, Tokyo Game Show, save us. You're my only hope. Yes. And sometimes it comes through, but
yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're hoping that this will be, that year, especially with a lot of like new games coming out, because we're just talking about like, oh, this is all these RPGs. Maybe it's not just 2022 is the year of RPG, but also 2023 and 2024. We'll see.
Could be.
Yeah, could be. All right. I've got a link that I want to share with you. And this is about Soul Hacker 2. So we've talked a little bit about Soul Hacker 2 the other day. And now Atlus has shared more information with the Japanese game publication 4Gamer. So I've got that opened up. So for the most part, some information that has already been shared, but definitely a lot more new screenshots. We're not going to go through all of it, but for your viewing pleasure, we'll be adding this link in the description down below after the podcast. But this new link has very detailed information. In fact, way more detailed than the official website. I was just looking at the official website earlier to see, like, well, maybe these information is already in the official website. It is not. So it talks about the worldview of the Shin Megami Tensei, and as well as Demon Summoner. It talks about how what ions are. It's actually pronounced ion, so now I know, because I was like, is this aeon? Oh, apparently it's ion according to the Japanese pronunciation. And what their plans are, which according to this article, they are sending Ningo and Fig out. So Ningo is the main character that you play, and Fig is the sort of identical twin looking person who,
and her name is
back up.
And her name is Fake.
Fig. Yeah, that's what it says here. Fig. It's like F-I-G-U. If you can imagine it. Yeah. So I don't know what the English spelling would be, but it's because sometimes maybe they might decide to change their name. I don't know, but that's what I'm reading right now. And these two are agents of Ion, and they're there to try to help the human world avoid destruction. They have the special power called Soul Hack, where they can utilize it to bring someone back from the dead. And these human that Ningo runs into are being soul hacked so that they have basically a second chance, a chance to do over, which is what this says. So can they avoid the fate, of destruction that is to come for this world? We shall see. So, some character screenshots here.
Have you ever seen the manga or watched the anime called GANTZ?
That sounds so familiar. I can't remember.
For the longest time, it was my absolute favorite anime and manga series. Not what I would recommend for children. It's very gory, very full of nudity. It's a really intricately done manga, but it reminds me a little bit of here. I'm not gonna show your Google search results when you search for GANTZ. I'm gonna close that window.
No.
Just in case, because It definitely has some very NSFW sort of stuff. But anyways,
I didn't know you were still sharing.
No, you're good. You're good.
You freaked out for a second, huh?
It's
Okay.
like,
So you can go back now. I exit out.
But sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But wow. Okay. Well,
So,
I'll have to
anyways,
check that out.
GANTZ is about basically people who die, but they are scanned by some sort of device moments before their death so that they are revived and basically like 3D printed a new body, essentially. And they are put to the task of fighting off invading aliens, more or less, with little to no guidance on the process. But they do get heavily armed, and it's very messed up in a great way.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's fantastic.
Love NieR Automata. Why does that sound so familiar?
Oh, did NieR Automata do something similar?
Do you want to play? I mean, if GANTZ is what it sounds like, do you want to play GANTZ as a game? Because NieR Automata is a very similar plot. I don't want to spoil you, but I am very similar.
I mean, I'm all about the plot, so.
Well, that's one step closer to getting Derek to play NieR Automata. Am I right, guys? I need you to shame him on Twitter today, please. Okay. So we've got some news on the main character and who will be voicing them. Feel free to look into all of these. But I'm not going to go into all of them. And yes, her name is Milady. Like it's Milady, Derek.
Oh,
name is Milady.
I'm not gonna.
The name is Milady. Yeah, and this is what she looks like. Actually, really cool design. I'm really liking some of these designs. And this is Saizo. Saizo is the sort of like the free devil summoner. So you can check out all these and like their play style, the weapons, what have you, and all this. They also go over some keywords. What is Demon Summoner? What's Calm? What is in Ion Agent, what's Soul Hack, the demons. There's some pictures for them, so pretty cool stuff. So overall, I think I'm getting a lot more, a lot more information on the worldview. So this is probably like what it looks like when you're walking out and about. It looks like it's gonna use like a similar engine. You would have like for Persona 5. But really cool looking. So I am super stoked and I can't wait. Also, just a reminder, there is a limited edition for Japan. No such thing has been announced for the West, but one can hope. I mean, they've got to know that we're dying for these like limited editions. We buy up all the SMT stuff. They've got to know. They've got to know that. Yeah. So
I'm sure that they know.
Yeah, I'm sure they know. Anyways, please check that out. Again, link down below later on for the 4Gamer article.
By the way, chat says that NieR is nothing like GANTZ, and that GANTZ gets way crazier than NieR Automata.
No, I'm sure it does. But just what you explained just now.
Yeah.
See, again,
I got you.
I would love to compare and contrast, but that would spoil Derek. So
sure. I'm just relaying some info for the listeners as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
If you're into NieR, you might not love GANTZ, but I would recommend it if you are really into,
What if I watch GANTZ and you play NieR Automata?
Well, I would recommend you read the manga. The GANTZ anime is actually, it's okay.
Not as good.
It's okay, but it's also like I want to say it's only like 1 or 2 seasons, and then it ends with like a read the manga ending. That they kind of
one of those,
and they made up the ending as well, so it's just not.
No, say no more. I hate those. Those are the absolute worst.
The anime was okay for like eye candy when it came out, but and it did get me interested in the manga at least, which is kind of what it was there for. Like you said, the anime for the longest time was there to sell a product. It was an advertisement of the the books or the merch. So,
well, times are changing, you know.
Yeah, they should redo it. They should make a new one. Just go full on FMA Brotherhood with it.
I mean, don't be surprised, because look, we've got a new Digimon anime. There's a new Digimon anime, completely new. That is like a remake of anime now. That the remix of anime. So that's been remade. Yu Yu Hakusho is remade.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
What?
Yu Yu Hakusho is remade. You didn't know?
Yu Yu Hakusho.
And here I was thinking Derek's got the DL for all that. What's going on, Derek? Self-proclaimed. Wait, whoa.
I was a little zoned out.
Whoa.
Start over. What's this about Yu Yu Hakusho being remade?
Whoa.
Yu Yu Hakusho is getting a remake?
Yes, Yu Yu Hakusho. It's getting a remake.
What the Are you serious? Holy shit! That's so incredible. I want it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the sort of news show where I would expect to learn about this sort of thing, Baku. When was this announced?
I think it was already announced some time ago.
Oh, well, I should hope that it was.
I gotta look this thing up for you now.
Oh my God.
I gotta look this thing up for you now. I'll find it for you later. It's just it's a whole bunch of things.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so like Yu Yu Hakusho, what is that other thing called? Shaman King.
Yeah.
Shaman King remake. Okay. So it's like things like this. Like
you got me all hot and bothered. I'm actually overheating a little bit at the thought of like the Will Ferrell from Step Brothers is like, why are you sweating? Oh, I was just watching Cops. You got me all heated now. Oh my God.
Don't get your hopes up. It could just be a new movie and I could have just forgotten and got it mixed up, but you know. But Shaman King definitely got a remake. Digimon got a remake. You know what? It's crazy because there's this Dragon Quest Dies adventure, and that also got a remake, and that was crazy because I never thought that I would see that. In fact, that's probably one of the most recent remake that I was just like, really? Have you ever heard of that before, Derek? Dragon Quest Dies Adventure?
Yeah, I knew about that one. Yeah.
So that was like a manga that I read back in like the 90s. And they had like a really short anime, and the anime ran through its course and then had like some, ending to it. Because the manga didn't finish until years later.
Yeah.
And now it's like a complete remake, and it will have like a proper manga ending for it years later. And that's so never say never about like old anime getting a complete remake down the road. It's definitely possible.
All right. I gotta do this because I just gotta say, if Yu Yu Hakusho is getting a remake, Crunchyroll better do it with the original voice cast, because nobody's better than Kuwabara.
I think it might actually just be a new OVA. Yeah, it's probably just a new OVA. Sorry, Derek.
It can't be because I saw.
It is a new OVA. Sorry, man.
Is it? Oh, you kill me. You're killing me, man. You're killing me.
It is a new OVA. It is a new OVA.
I am Jack's complete disappointment. But they still better have the original Kuwabara voice actor, because that guy is excellent.
Is it even dubbed though? Is it even dubbed? Oh, you're talking about the sub?
I'm talking subtitle or dub.
Regular dub.
Dub. Okay. Yeah, dub. Yeah. Yeah.
If it even gets the English dub, that is. Actually, it might already be there. Yeah, I'm apparently I'm raining on people's parade. That's what I'm more about. But at least I'm honest when I tell you I'm
everybody
not sure
down, Baku. You should have just kept making stuff. Just keep making up good news. Just keep making up good news.
Well. Oh boy. Okay. One final little piece of news, and I think this is going to be pretty fun for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. So Yahoo Japan hosted a poll for the favorite Final Fantasy, and out of all the folks who voted, and something like 28,859 votes came in from Japan voting their favorite Final Fantasy. I blacked it out so Derek can't even see what the results are. I kind of want you to guess. What are the top 5? What do you think is the top 5? However you start from the bottom. Top 5.
Okay.
And yeah. So while you think about that, to answer your question in the chat, yes, Yahoo does exist. Yahoo is huge in Japan. Yahoo is not a thing here, but Yahoo is huge in Japan. 7-Eleven is also completely different in Japan. It's wild.
And so is KFC.
Yeah, KFC. Well, I kind of like KFC here.
Yeah, but I mean, KFC is like a Christmas thing. I love it.
It's so wild. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, my favorite thing about Japan is it's the confluence of like just how like they idealize like American Christmas. Like they think we all go out and get like KFC, so they'll have like they think that on Christmas, a lot of people think that that's the American thing to do is to go have some KFC dinner on Christmas Day. We don't do that in the United States, at least. I mean, most of us probably don't. But then here's the funny thing about that is how many layers deep this like corporate worship goes, because below that they've got Colonel Sanders like dressed up in like a Santa costume, right?
Yes.
And the Santa costume, by the way, is red and white, which is made that was something that was made up by Coca-Cola for their marketing of Coca-Cola back in the day. Red and white Santa Claus is Coca-Cola Santa Claus. Before that, he was not red and white. He was, he wore like the different colored furs and stuff. It's true. So we have this so we've got Colonel Sanders wearing Coca-Cola Santa Claus outfit in Japan, selling fried chicken, Kentucky fried chicken to Japanese people because they think that that's what the American thing is to do on Christmas, to celebrate the holiday properly. And I love the mythology behind it. It's great. And also like in a weird way, I don't know. I love it and I hate it, but I love it.
So they think that we eat turkey for Christmas, which I've never done. I've never heard people do, but
Christmas Story had it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some folks have done, but it's definitely not like a widespread tradition.
Yeah,
the widespread tradition is to eat turkey for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think it was much bigger back in the day. Back in the day, it was much bigger to do that. But yes, I agree that is a perception. Even today, like I feel like people have that sort of like picturesque Christmas, Christmas dinner thing. Maybe not in certain areas, but I think that that's like another like mythology that we have of the past, of like the 50s, and it kind of like it's kind of like why we still show like pop guns and rocking horses and like nutcrackers when you're thinking of like Christmas toys. It's all of these like very old-timey like iconic things that haven't been relevant since like the 1900s.
Oh man, and the mistletoe and all that fun stuff.
Nobody does any of that.
Yeah, no one does any of that. Please,
figgy pudding. What even is figgy pudding?
What is that? What is figgy pudding?
Know.
What is that?
No idea.
What if it's like really delicious and it's like a lost art?
I mean, it's like a dessert presumably made from figs, right? I mean, that's as close as I can figure it.
Listen, if anyone's watching from Japan, we don't eat chicken or turkey traditionally.
Yeah, it's not a tradition.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they couldn't get turkey, so they used chicken instead.
Yeah, but
that was the whole thing. And,
but here's the thing, though, like it is a tradition in Japan now to have KFC. It's become a tradition. It's been around so long that it's like ingrained in them now, and it's solidified KFC like henceforth as like a staple of their Christmas season. And it's interesting. That's the sort of thing that just it gets me. I like it. I don't know.
You know what else they get in Christmas that we don't really get here in the States, or at least that I know of?
What's that?
Christmas cakes. Christmas cake, like a whole like birthday cake, but for Christmas.
We should do that.
We should do that. I want cake.
What would be your cake flavor for Christmas? I got one.
Maybe red velvet.
That's it. That's exactly where I was going to go. Red and white. It's red and white. And
yeah, exactly.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
you goes perfectly with my Santa Claus costume made by Coca-Cola. Okay. So Final Fantasies.
Top five.
Top five. Starting. I'm going to start from the top here, I think, because that'll be easier for me to logic my way through them. Okay. So here's the tricky thing, though. Is this just mainline Final Fantasies, or does this include
mainline?
Okay, so the numbered entries.
Mainline.
Okay.
Yes, it's not going to get too difficult.
All right. So if this was a US poll,
Texas fans,
if this was a US poll, I would put Final Fantasy VII at the top. I'm not going to, because Japan, I think, doesn't rate things quite the same as we do, because they don't see. I don't know. Something tells me that they probably won't love Final Fantasy VII as much as we do. So let's go with top score. Let's go with let's go Final Fantasy VI.
Okay, Final Fantasy VI. Okay,
that's my guess for number one. Number two. Let's go Final Fantasy X.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Number three. Let's go Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. Finally coming in with 7. Okay.
4. Let's do Final Fantasy 4.
Okay. 4 is 4. Okay.
And 5 is 5.
There you go. I typed it in chat. Okay. Like,
those are my guesses.
By the way, for all the folks who are in chat, if you want to make your own guesses and share that with us, definitely let us know what you thought it is afterwards, and when you can comment in down below, because I would love to see what you guys think of this. Okay, here are the actual results. Again, out of close to 29,000 votes, here are the results from the Yahoo Japan poll. Coming in number 5, Final Fantasy 4.
Oh,
with 1,899 votes. So like about 1,900 votes. One vote short of 1,900.
Wow.
Close, pretty close. FF4, yeah. FF4 is number 5. Okay.
Was this like was this ranked choice voting, or was this like just like vote for your favorite?
I think it's just vote for your favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. So close to 1,900 people think that, like, yes, that is my favorite. That's my jam, FF4.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Coming up in number 4 is Final Fantasy V with 3,141 votes.
So I got the two swapped, hey?
Yes, you did. So in Japan, they do definitely like FF5 more than FF4, but both are apparently very near and dear to their hearts. So, yeah. So okay, and here comes number 3. It's Final Fantasy X, 3,588 votes, slightly more than Final Fantasy V.
Okay.
So yeah. So okay. In fact, I think you did pretty good. So I'm just like, whoa, okay, you're doing pretty good.
Because I remember 10 did really well with a lot of the women in Japan as well, right? Like that's one of the most popular among women gamers, I think.
Female gamers, absolutely. Coming up in number 2. You ready for this? Are we getting drum roll for this?
Okay, number 2. Let's go. Okay.
Number 2. Final Fantasy VI at 5,204 votes. 5,000 votes. About a sixth of the people chose Final Fantasy VI as their favorite at number 2, surprisingly. And of course,
hang on before we guess this. So like, Man, that's crazy. That right now we haven't talked about we haven't mentioned Final Fantasy 9 or 7 so far, and only one of them can be on this list. I
Yes.
I mean, I because I realized just now when I saw a comment somebody said something about 9. I'm like, I forgot about 9. But okay, go ahead.
You did forget about 9. And number 1 is a surprise to no one. Final Fantasy 7 at 5,345 votes.
Okay, so 7 did get the
Yeah, so you actually got all 5 of them.
just the wrong order.
The wrong orders. Yeah. You got all 5 of them. That's actually pretty impressive. You got all 5.
Okay, we got the order wrong, but I got the numbers.
Congratulations. I think it's interesting to note that although FF6 lost, it only lost by about 140 votes. Which is Final Fantasy 6 only lost by 140 votes.
Oh, so, for the number 1 spot?
Yeah, so if you expand the sample size, FF6 is pretty neck to neck.
Yeah,
like
that's margin of error.
Margin error, yeah. So that's pretty crazy. That's why I gave you guys the numbers. I was like, okay, so the Final Fantasy 4 is like 1,900 votes. That's not even close, right? FF5, FF10, they're like 3,200, 3,600 votes respectively about that. FF6 and FF7, the top 2 are like 5,200 votes and 5,300 votes respectively. So that's pretty close, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that list could have flipped pretty easily, except for FF4. FF4 is pretty far off to number 5. For anyone who is curious about where FF9 is actually number 6, which could be 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we just expand we expand the sample,
error, sure.
it might just flip just enough. But pretty interesting stuff, and I thought you guys might like that. Well, I'll list the poll down in the description so you guys can take a look at it yourself. Yeah.
That's kind of funny that there isn't anything above 10 in that list at all. There's no 11 or 12 or 13 or 14 or 15.
Nope.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. I wonder there's some kind of a sampling bias. I wonder if people do polls are just like old school and they just like.
I mean, there could be that. There could be that, yeah. Or maybe they refuse to vote for anything. Or oh no, because 10 was also after. No, was it?
10's after.
It was after he left. After Sakaguchi.
9 is the last game. 9 is the last
Sakaguchi game. Okay.
Yeah. Yep,
I was wondering if it was like some sort of solidarity thing, but nah, I guess not.
Yeah. By the way, 6 is my favorite all time. So I'm a little salty that 6 lost to 7, but I do like 7. So okay. Plus, it didn't lose by a whole lot, so I'll let this one go.
Okay. Yeah. That's some surprising numbers. I mean, and that also does not reflect my personal favorites either, because otherwise I would have included 9. How did I forget about it?
How did you forget about 9?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of I was just thinking, what would Japanese gamers prefer? And those are the ones. You know what? Here's probably why. Final Fantasy 9, I mean, had a lot more American influence because it was developed in Honolulu, Hawaii, with a team of Japanese and American developers. So maybe that's why it just resonates a little more with, my American butt and not as much theirs. But maybe that's also just still a sampling size thing.
Sorry, I lied. 9 is not 6. 9 is number 7. 6 actually goes to Final Fantasy 14, which is actually surprising because I thought 14 would be way higher because there's a lot of people who loves Final Fantasy 14. So I'm actually kind of surprised that 14 is 6. I misread. I was only very sure about I triple checked the top 5, but I didn't double check number 6. Number 6 actually Final Fantasy 9 is actually number 7, but not by a whole lot. It's
just
off by like
100 up the numbers. I trained you well, Baku.
Always making up the numbers. Always making up the numbers. Yeah.
Oh man. That was good though.
Hope you guys like that. If there's some fun little news in the future, we'll be sure to be sharing with that. But let us know what you thought in the comments. That way we can see what you guys think should be the top 5 Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Numbered only.
Yeah,
numbered
only.
games only. Yeah. Again, sorry, Tactics fans.
Exactly. No using Seiken Densetsu Final Fantasy Gaiden. You can't do that.
None of that. Miss the quest. Get that game out of here.
Hey, come on now.
If it doesn't have a Roman numeral, we're not counting it.
Yep.
For this poll.
Sorry, Final Fantasy 1. Which
it has a 1 there. It has a 1 there.
It doesn't though.
Does it not? I thought it does.
No,
I thought it does.
Uh-uh.
Huh. Well.
You know what we should do?
We should start our own poll on this one. You can include all of those games in there.
I have no idea how to start a poll. Did you know that straw poll is dead? Strawpoll.me is dead. You can't do it anymore. It's broken.
I thought I sent you a new one.
Did you? I don't know. Day. Oh yeah, I used a different service the other day, but yeah, I found out that Strawpoll was dead. That sucks. Anyways,
that's so weird.
I know. We'll figure out another way to do a poll.
Yeah.
There are other ways. So while we figure that out, Baku, before we really wind down for the evening, what are you doing today, man? What are you doing? Where can people find you?
I thought about streaming today, but I'm kind of tired from that trip out. So I'm gonna skip on that. Instead, I'll be just hanging out and just doing some other stuff. I am currently streaming Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I'm just absolutely loving the game. So whoever was talking about that, I'm with you. That game is great, and Derek should play it.
I should.
We'll be playing the world.
If only I could shame myself on Twitter into playing Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh boy, if only there was a group of people armed with Twitters and free time who can message Derek and at him every day about Yakuza Like a Dragon, NieR Automata, and now Omori. So if you're a fan of those games and you want to see Derek release one of his thought-provoking reviews, you've got to take some actions. All right. So I'll be playing The World Ends With You Neo next, and we'll sprinkle in some fun games in between, like Do Gagotoku, which is basically Yakuza. But there's a Japanese only game called Ishin, so we'll be playing that in a full Japanese run. So that's fun. So come learn some new language with us Wednesday through Sunday at twitch.tv.
Awesome. All right. Well, I am. Let's see. Where can people find me? I guess I am currently over on Twitch streaming Shin Megami Tensei 5 on hard mode. I think we're going to be finishing up this week, but I thought that last week too. So we'll see what happens here. But also, I've been working away at a new review of Chrono Trigger, which is coming out on Friday. And I'm very excited about that. By the way, anybody who wants early access to that currently has early access if they're a supporter of my show via Patreon or on Twitch. Yeah, if you're on Twitch and you're a subscriber, then you have early access there as well. Or if you're a YouTube channel member, you'll have early access to the game review as well. But otherwise, it comes out on Friday for everybody. And then also, I'm currently writing a new video for my third entry into the How to RPG video series, my level 101 course on RPGs and stuff. It's been a long time coming, and I'm finally getting to work on that. Feeling pretty good about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to join me on Twitch, you can find me there at twitch.tv/SuperDerek RPGs, but I would prefer you just click the link in the description below, because that'll get you there. No problemo.
Unless you like hard mode. Again, I'm not against people liking hard modes, but the link is there for you if you want it.
For anybody who wants to take the cheater route. So we did get a couple of super chats, a few super chats, in fact. So we'll go ahead and respond to those as well here real quick, starting with the one we got from Still Alive here, who says, Elden Ring rocks. What's both of your history with the Souls games? This is my first one. I think I'll go back and play the others after this.
Hello, still alive. Thank you so much for the super chat. Do you want to go first?
You bet.
Or
I
okay.
loved Dark Souls 1. I never played Demon's Souls, but I think when I get a PS5, I'll probably give that remake a try. Dark Souls, though, I loved it. I played it, reviewed it with, it was actually a collaborative review with Jimmy Hoppa. And as a result, we ended up playing it together a lot
Hmm.
in order to capture some footage for the skits that we had built in, which was a lot of fun. Um, and we were gonna do a somewhat follow-up with Dark Souls 2. Ended up playing the heck out of that as well. I don't think I ever beat it though, and eventually it just kind of fell through.
Hmm.
But I did enjoy it, not as much as the original though, and I've not played any of Souls 3. I played a bit of Bloodborne, and the combat was more fast-paced, more dodgy, less blocking, and it
Hmm.
didn't quite jive with my playstyle nearly as well. I had been kind of trained to do a certain thing with Dark Souls, and
Hmm.
trying to adjust my playstyle just didn't really end up working very well. So I didn't get very far into that. And honestly, since then, I've not played any of their other entries in the. What was the other one that they made? It wasn't Neo, was it?
Sekiro.
Sekiro, yeah. Yeah,
Is this
Sekiro.
Sekiro?
I didn't
Yeah.
end up getting to play any of Sekiro,
Hmm.
but this one has my full attention because it looks like it's kind of a return to like the kind of um slower mechanics, maybe
Hmm.
the little more methodic, little less hectic. Because like it, yeah, there's a lot of differences with like Bloodborne and stuff that just didn't jive
Hmm.
with me, but this one looks pretty cool, and I'll hopefully get to it at some point. But that's my history with the Souls series. What about you, Baku? Anything you
Uh,
got?
uh, uh, I have not played a single Souls game. I was
Everybody,
like, what's
may I just point everybody to Baku's Twitter account, which you can use to shame him into playing a real man's action RPG. No,
Okay, I
just
wanted.
kidding.
Well, I see. I wanted. I was hoping that you would give your take on it first. Well, not your take, but your experience first. So I was like, okay, this is a super chat. Now I'm about to disappoint you. I'm about to disappoint you, Indy. I have not played this game at all. Well, what I do appreciate though is the lore and how it's sort of like hidden in these items. And while I've not played it, of course, I've seen plenty of people stream it. The combats, I'm kind of like the opposite of Derek. The slow and methodical thing is not my thing. I get bored real fast. I like the old like East game where it's like fast paced. Even if you die over and over, you come right back and you just come right at it. So I looked at Sekiro and I'm thinking maybe I'll try that one. But I definitely would prefer things that's a little bit faster pace. So yeah, so Soul Game didn't look like my cup of tea. Never gave it a shot.
Mhm.
But one of these days I might just do that. So I don't know. Feel free to shame me. But I'm just saying if you're gonna shame me, you gotta shame Derek too. It's only fair. So come shame us on Twitter, please.
Well, luckily, I got a follow up here from Duo Beard who says, I think this one's for you, Baku. He says, I
Mhm.
will tweet at Derek later about Omori. I got you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I always appreciate you. Please. I really think you enjoy these games. Like I'm not saying like, oh yeah, play these games because I like them. I don't even play Omori, but I think a lot of folks who liked Earthbound also enjoys Omori. So it's one of those games. So we'll see.
All right. And then we got one more from Still Alive who says, who actually has a question for you. So it's a multiple choice though. He says,
Okay.
what's your favorite type of fantasy humanoid creatures? And our choices are between goblins,
Mm-hmm.
hobgoblins,
Mm-hmm.
orcs, trolls, or ogres.
Ah, is that for me specifically, or is that for both of
I
us?
think it's for both of us, but I'm asking you.
Okay.
Put
Okay, because
put
I'm
you
about
on
to
the
say,
spot.
I'm like, why me? Like, what's going on? Like, what made you think that was a good question for me? Okay, so goblins out. because Goblin Slayer's kind of scarred me. I don't know if you guys have seen Goblin Slayer before, but I can't really look at goblins the same way ever again.
Okay.
So Goblin's out completely. Hobgoblin is out for the same reason.
Okay.
Orcs is I honestly don't even know what's the difference between like an orc and a goblin. So
Okay. So hold on. Did you ever
Uh-huh.
watch The Hobbit, the movies?
No.
Did you ever watch The Labyrinth?
Listen,
With
I'm
David-
hearing
with David
I'm
Bowie?
hearing a lot. I'm hearing a lot of. I'm feeling a
Mhm.
lot of disappointment.
No,
coming
you're good.
right
You're
now.
good. Have you ever watched The Labyrinth though with David Bowie?
I have not.
The old 80s, like. Okay, I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, have you ever seen Gremlins, the old 80s Christmas movie?
Oh, that creepy thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's more like goblins. Okay,
Oh yeah, no, that's out.
whereas like if you ever watched Lord of the Rings, orcs
Mhm.
were like the big like or either the urukai or something. I don't know. They're
Mhm.
the big hulking warrior of the under they're that's like the main difference
What's
between
the
goblins.
last one? What's the last one?
Then there's trolls, which are
Mhm.
the ones who turn to stone in daylight. And
Mhm.
then
Yeah, I
there's
don't like trolls. Please don't troll.
and then there's ogres who
Mhm.
are like onions. They live in
Onions.
swamps.
Mhm.
They're green
Mhm.
and they befriended donkeys.
I think I'm gonna pick ogre because let me explain. Because whenever they want to translate oni from like Japanese anime, they always end up calling them ogres.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I have a pretty good feeling about ogres. So I'm gonna stick to ogres.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I dig that answer. So Baku is all in on Shrek, and I am gonna go with. I'm gonna go with
one.
I'm gonna go with orcs. Because
Orcs. Okay.
yeah. The specifically of like the D&D variety, the Wizards of the
Mhm.
Coast style orcs. It's the playable race.
Mhm.
They're all right. They can do some pretty cool stuff. They're or if you prefer like the Skyrim orc, or you could go with the Oblivion style orc, which is basically the same as Shrek. Very good with either of those.
It's pretty interchangeable there, orcs and ogre.
Yeah, they're very similar, very closely related. As if you're in the Oblivion, universe from Elder Scrolls, they basically look the same.
Yep, definitely not goblins. Oh God, no, please, no goblins.
But I mean, goblins from the Labyrinth though were really awesome, and David Bowie as the Goblin King does not get much better than that. So
yes, unfortunately, my introduction to goblins is Goblin Slayer, and they're not fun. I'm very scarred by them. You cannot think of goblin any other way other than maybe slime. The I'm reincarnated as a slime, like that whole vision of goblins. But like, yeah, no. I know you're not talking about those goblins, so no, the goblins.
all right, well, everybody, thank you so much for those super chats. Very much appreciate your support here. They help us keep the show going, and they help me keep Baku on the payroll.
Yes, please. I'm trying to budget for food next weekend.
No, but legitimately, they are paying for the podcasting service that's allowing us to multicast to so many different platforms at this point. So very much appreciate all of your support here, guys. Baku, as we close out, is there any closing thoughts that you wanted to provide the viewers with?
Yeah, get a good printer if you're a Nintendo fan. That's what I think needs to happen. You get a good printer.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yep. Oh my god, I love it.
About you, Derek. What you got for us?
Oh man, that's all I got. But hey, if you liked the show and if you made it all the way to the end, do be sure to get subscribed here on YouTube, or if you're listening on a podcasting platform out there. And if you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and to, drop us a review or something. We very much appreciate it. Helps us grow, gain a new audience, and continue forward into the future. And anyways, I hope you guys had a great had a great night, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.
Goodbye.